So welcome to Using Data for Change. Learn how you can use policing data to push change.
People are starting to come in. Welcome, welcome. We'll get started once we get enough viewers in.
Yeah, this is great. Welcome.
Indeed, Bobby. We are grateful to have you here and grateful to be able to share it with you and everybody else.
While we're waiting, if you're joining us, I'd be interested if you want to just leave a message really quick and let us know how you heard about the project. And if you have any questions before we get started, just so we kind of know where to drive this. To be honest with you, we don't have a lot of slides, a lot of things to cover. It's really, we're just going to give you an update and talk about what we're going to plan to do and then turn it over to you for questions. So it's more of a choose your own adventure experience. All right, well, it's 5 after, so I think we're going to get started. So welcome to our informational webinar, Using Data for Change. Learn how you can use policing data to push change. My name is Richard Dunks, and I'm joined by the very talented Rashid McLennan as we share with you the work that we've done on the Community Data Empowerment Project and what we're planning to do. What the next steps are, the workshop session that we're excited to tell you about, and hope you join us for. So welcome, all of you who've joined us. Really appreciate having you here. And this is being recorded, it's streamed on Facebook, and we're going to have the video up online so you can watch this afterwards, relive the greatest hits experiences. You can tell your friends about it and have them get on board. So want to really quickly introduce you to the team. So myself, Richard Dunks, I'm the owner and founder of Datapolitan, and I'm joined by Chonga Higgins in this project, my partner in crime from the Dallas campaign manager for the New Era of Public Safety. He couldn't be with us today, unfortunately, so we're holding down the fort. But he's part of this project and really is part of the success with it. This is sponsored by Leadership Conference Education Fund, and Linda Garcia is our fearless leader as far as making all this happen on the Leadership Conference side. And as I mentioned, Rashida, she's what makes the magic happen. So it's really great to have her helping us, working with us, and to make this happen. So that's a little bit about us. What this project is, a Community Data Empowerment Project. Our mission is to give you important skills for data-driven insights into policing in your community. So our desire, our hope, our intention here is to take these data skills, these very important skills, working with policing data in the city of Dallas, and give you the skills, put these into your toolbox to be able to use around whatever issue, whatever challenge, whatever you see going on, and help you really apply them to the problem, to be more data-driven, to tell true and compelling stories with data in the work that you're doing. So why focus on data? Why is data important? Data is a powerful tool to change the way policing happens in your community. It really helps us paint a fuller picture of DPD practices and challenges, what's actually going on, who is being arrested, what are they being arrested for, where are they being arrested, and understanding the contours, the outlines, what's actually happening in this city around policing. It enables police and community members to better understand police activity. In an ideal world, DPD is using this data to understand policing patterns and trends and how they use their resources, how they could better use their resources. And they're using that data as ways to inform council and to inform the community. And this is an opportunity, because this data is public, thankfully, that the community can help inform themselves. And it can be more of a conversation with this data about policing to drive collaborative, informed conversations. Chonga likes to tell the story about when they first started looking at officer-involved shootings. Originally, DPD was reporting one number, and by getting access to the data, the community groups were able to go through and really understand that it was a little bit different than they were led to believe, and not necessarily intentionally, but just it's a different way of looking at the data and better understanding, okay, what are we defining as a use of force, and helping to drive policy changes. So that's where as many people having access to the data as possible is really important. And having access isn't the end of the story, right? Having access, meaningful access, but also being able to meaningfully use the data is very important. And that's what we're trying to do with this project, give you the tools to meaningfully use the data that's available and accessible to you. So what we've been doing so far, so we did 4 training sessions with a very talented, wonderful, motivated group of people who joined us to look at the Dallas police arrest data. We looked at a few other data sets. We looked at the incidents data set. and a few other data sets as well related to this. And we went through using Google Sheets to be able to look at certain trends. So looking at arrests by month, what month had the most arrests in 2020? Turns out it was May. And just understanding some of the trends. What is this actually looking like? Also looking, what are people getting arrested for? So what you find when you look through the data is a large number of the arrests are actually, at least in April 2020, were in this miscellaneous category. And when you drill into this miscellaneous category, you see that there's a category that DPD uses called social service referrals. So by using the data that's coming out, that DPD is making available through the City of Dallas Open Data Portal, we're able to look at, okay, who is being arrested? What are these arrests for? A lot of them are also public intoxication and drug and narcotic violations. So you start understanding the trends, the patterns to be able to speak meaningfully to change that we want to see. Also looking at the arrests by month and being able to compare it year over year, seeing that in 2020, there is an increase in number of arrests. Also then looking at that trend by day. So understanding, okay, what do the arrest trends look like? Whether we're looking at the shelter-in-place order or the police brutality protests, the George Floyd protests, to be able to understand, okay, what are the trends? How does this look, compared to the same time last year? What are we seeing in differences? And what's the story that tells us then about policing in our community? I'll take a quick minute to actually describe what these training sessions are, because they're going to be kind of a model for us going forward. So in the age of COVID-19, we of course had to do these by distance. So we had people logging in on the Zoom, and we went through some exercises to be able to, and some discussions to be able to talk about the issues, work through the data. We also have a number of tutorial videos up to help structure it based on the training that we did to help inform this kind of work. We don't expect you just to kind of go in and do this on your own in Google Sheets. So it's an opportunity to kind of get your feet wet, but in a structured way. We're there to help with you. But this type of work with the data isn't particularly difficult once you're given some of the basic tools. So that's what we're trying to do. And so we did in our training classes. So they were 90-minute sessions. That's what we're going to be looking at, the format over Zoom, and that's what we're going to be looking at going forward. Now we're moving into our workshop phase. And the workshop phase was really intended to be the application of the skills to the problem set. In an ideal world where we didn't have infectious diseases rampant through our communities, we would all get together and with laptops in a room and order in some pizza and have a great time with the data. That's not possible. So what we're looking at doing is bringing in the people who went through the training sessions, also doing some skill training sessions for those who weren't able to make our original training sessions. These are going to be 2 sessions, August 5th and 6th, 2 90-minute sessions to go through some of the key skills. So we're going to be talking about getting the data, working with the data, creating charts and pivot tables, and then being able to do some formulas and functions to be able to clean up the data. So it'll be a real quick orientation to the data and some of the key skills to get you started. Then we're going to move into the workshop sessions. So these are going to be 4 sessions, August 12th and 13th, 19th and 20th, 90-minute sessions at the same time, so 7 to 8:30 as this session. And the intention there is to, first off, get an idea, okay, policing, how is it impactful? What's the key issues? And then start looking in data and iterate through and develop some projects around it. And we want to give some space for people who want to look at particular things, but also for those who may not have a particular interest, but really want to contribute, helping form groups around particular challenges and then move the conversation forward. So help with the data analysis and work on that. And to that end, we want to offer some office hours and things in between the sessions so that people can get y'all can get some extra help, ask some questions, get some advice, or be led through some key steps, get through some blockers to be able to come up with something. And then we're looking at having a final presentation. And I can tell you right now, we're looking at trying to assemble a panel of people who can reflect back onto the work that you all have done. When I say that, I'm not just anyone, but we really want to try and get some elected officials and community leaders who can meaningfully respond to the work that you all have been doing, giving insights, thoughts, and encouragement into the work that you've done to help you all take it forward or figure out next steps with it, and inform the work that they do as well. So we think it's really important to close the loop on this. So that's what we're planning for the next phases of this, is to really take the skills and run with them, work through the data, and really develop then some really good, true and compelling data-driven stories about policing in our community. So what you need to be able to do this. So as I mentioned, we are doing this over Zoom. We're using Google Sheets because it's freely available as long as you sign up for a Google account, which we ask you also to have, and then access to a computer with reliable internet access. So we are going to be streaming this online. We are going to, or not streaming, I'm sorry, we're going to be using Zoom in a video conference call, and then you're going to be working on Google Sheets. So you need to have an internet connection that can handle that, which we didn't have any problem with, thankfully, in our training sessions, which was great. In addition to the tools, we're asking you to come at this with an inquisitive mind, a willingness to ask questions and to share. We're open to the sharing of people that are involved in this. We had I believe, a lovely cross-section of people in our training sessions who offered a lot of really valuable insights and perspectives on the challenge, and some beautiful questions about what we were seeing in the data. And that really comes from being open and to sharing those perspectives, open to learning new things. Obviously, we're talking about a lot of skills, but then there's also the content and the context for the data and where it comes from and how it's made and how it's, it's released. And then also too, in terms of how to present it, how to communicate it to an audience. And that leads into the openness to communicating. So sharing the work. We really want to take this out into the community, have you all take this out into your communities and to share that with people who this is important to, and to really do good work that then has a meaningful impact for others. As far as the attendance, we do ask if you haven't attended one of our original training sessions that you do so this week. Attend our boot camp training sessions, what we're calling them, to get back up the skills for the workshop sessions. And that's just to kind of help you be more comfortable with the data and the key skills and contribute to the work that's being done. So what you're going to learn. So you're going to learn the tools. We're going to take you through the basics of using Google Sheets. And honestly, a lot of this too is easily transferable to Excel. So if anything that you're doing in Google Sheets, you can do in Excel. There's maybe a little bit of difference with it, but it's very common. And the analytical skills. So this is something we're going to use policing data for, but these analytical skills can be something you take into any domain that you're working with, any data set. These are pretty common skills and very important skills. How do you think about a problem? And how do you then represent that problem in data? So that's really key. And how to get answers. So I think this, how would I see this in data? What would this look like in data? That's a key frame for the work that we do. What does this look like in data, and how will I know? And what you'll get. So you'll get experience. So hopefully, for those of you who've been in our training sessions before, hopefully you can vouch for this. You do get experience. So we're leading you through the sometimes complicated thicket of data that's in the open data portal, and helping guide you through some of the pitfalls and the issues and things like that with the data that's there. And you gain that experience, and then that's something you can build on, share with others, and really improve the work. We are also offering a certificate of participation for those who attend all 4 workshop sessions. This is going to indicate you attended the workshop sessions, you were there. As I said, each of these sessions is going to build on each of the others, so it's really important that as much as possible, we get people who can attend all 4 to contribute. And then, as I said, there's going to be opportunities to, or likely need to work a little bit outside of the workshop session to kind of maybe finish up some work on a chart, whatever it is. That's meaningful to get the project to where you would like to see it done. We're also, for those who participated in the training sessions, offering a certificate of excellence and hopefully some other things as well to reward you for the commitment to the project. This is a project that we want to do it for the community. We want to see the community benefit, and we hope you as well as individuals benefit. And we want to recognize that the work that you put in to realize that benefit that you did. And ultimately is to be empowered, is to tell your story with data. If you don't tell your story, someone will tell the story about you. So why not take the opportunity to tell your own story and not be told your story by someone else? And then use that as to be advocates for positive change in your communities. So this is a very important issue. It's an issue that touches on us, and I want to acknowledge it's a very heartfelt, emotional issue. and the data, can't heal all wounds, can't make everything better, but it can at least tell us more about what's going on and what we do about it. So that's what we're hoping you will leave this with. So the next step, so we ask you to register for the session. So for those of you who weren't on Eventbrite to sign up, if you go to our Eventbrite organizer page, you'll see these events. So we have the training sessions for this week. Please go to the site and register for the training events. It's all free. I should have mentioned that from the beginning. It's all free. So register for the events, register for the training sessions, and then register for the workshop sessions. It's all up there. You'll get emails and with links and everything else so that you'll have all of those things. So the next steps for this process, where we go from here, please go to the Eventbrite and sign up. And then once you've done that, if you can take a moment to look through our tutorial videos on our YouTube page, we have a number of videos there. They're very short. I'm not a believer in long videos. I think the longest one is about 5 minutes and 5 or 6 minutes. Mostly they're 2 to 3 minute, just short little bites of information, be able to do some basic tasks. We also have links to the other videos. So if you end up starting in the middle somewhere and like, I'm lost, I need to go back, you can do so. So please, and those are also, we're leaving those up for anyone who comes along. So well after this project is done, someone comes along and wants to figure out how to work on police arrest data, those videos will be up there. So it's hopefully a contribution to the community that y'all can use. Also, if you can't take a minute and check out the DallasOpenData.com, there's a lot of great data there. If you click on public safety, you'll see where the Dallas Police Department data is. You'll see the key data sets there: police incidents, police arrests with charges. There's a few other data sets there also of interest, and we'll be talking about those in our work together. If you have any questions. And then please train the training sessions if you haven't already. If you haven't already attended some of our training sessions or just want to brush up on your skills, it's going to be a great experience. We'll go through a lot of basics. Like I said, we're going to be looking at getting the data. We're going to be looking at starting to analyze the data, visualize it, and communicate the data. So how do you work with it? Unfortunately, the data is not great format where you can work with it, do all the things off the bat. There's some things you have to do to be able to get to the analysis that we showed you. Look at arrest by month, arrest by day, and things like that. And attend the workshop sessions. Please join us in this work. Take these skills, take in your experience and being a community member here and bring that to the work that we do. We'll really appreciate it and it'll be very valuable to us. So those are our next steps. Thank you very much for taking the time out to watch the webinar. For more information, please check out our website, datafordallas.org. Email us at info@datafordallas.org. Check us out on Facebook or Instagram. We also have a Twitter, Data for Dallas, as well, that you can use if that's more convenient for you. I will say, hopefully some of you are coming from organizations that are working on these issues and have an interest in data. I don't want this to seem like we're very welcoming of that. I mean, we want to help organizations, whether established or just getting started in this space, really start understanding how to use data. And so hopefully this is something that integrates with the work that you're doing. It doesn't have to just be personal curiosity or personal interest, but can really be something that relates back to the work that you're doing. This is really, we take all comers and really want these skills out in the community. So if you, like I said, if your organization wants to be involved or sponsor or focus on something, we're happy to have you involved. And feel free to reach out to us, info@datafordallas.org, and we can talk more about that for the workshop sessions. So if you have a group of people you already want to work with and bring into this, we're happy to have that as well. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to having you as part of our work, and have a good night.